Three, two, one, ghost. Hey, everybody. Welcome to 3, 2, 1 Ghost. I'm your host with a silent G, Kyle. And as always, I'm joined by my pal, Natalie. Hey, Natalie. How are you?
Doing great. I'm very excited.
That's good to hear. Hey, y'all, if you got your toes in the water, you take them out right the fuck now, because we are talking about 2010's, not even the first remake, but the second remake of Piranha,
Yeah.
aptly titled Piranha 3D. This movie, directed by Alexandre Aja. Sorry, I need to practice these things ahead of time. Who's kind of known in the horror genre. I mean, I know High Tension as well as the remake of The Hills Have Eyes, which I did not see. Did you see that one?
Oh, you would hate that movie. Don't watch it. Lots of triggering things in that movie for sure. Yeah. I've only seen it once and I saw it in the theater, and there are very few things that make me like super duper uncomfortable. That movie made me very uncomfortable, but a lot of people really love it.
That's my challenge though. Is it scary or did it like just make people uncomfortable? Because I'm like, I don't
It's
think it's the same.
it's not scary, it's disturbing. And those two things are, it's very important that people separate those two things because I think things can be scary and disturbing, or they can be just disturbing. And I think that movie is mostly just disturbing.
This movie, so it's a remake of the original 78 film directed by Joe Dante. There's also the sequel directed by James Cameron. So you got this weird pedigree with these movies.
Mhm.
And then there was the 95 remake, which I have not seen. Have you?
I've seen all of them.
Oh, Jesus, of course you have.
But this one first, which made me want to go back and watch the other ones. This one is the best one. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That is probably a pretty low bar to swim over with your little fish fins. The 90s one, that was the one with was Mila Kunis in that?
I think that one is the worst one. I have never ranked them truly, but I remember being really disappointed with that one.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the strengths of this movie that the others don't have is a pretty fucking loaded cast.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Shue, always a
Mm-hmm.
fucking delight. The other Steve McQueen, Adam Scott. You've got Kelly Brook, who's a model, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only thing I've seen her in.
Yeah.
Um, you got Ving Rhames, fucking always coming up clutch. Christopher Lloyd, always doing just his
uh,
Christopher Lloydness. I love it.
yeah, he's great.
Um, even got a little cameo from Richard Dreyfuss at
I
the
love
beginning there.
Richard Dreyfuss
Who doesn't love Richard Dreyfuss? I
showing up
mean,
in this movie.
I haven't seen enough, I think, with with our boy Dreyfuss because I mean, of course, Jaws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
what about Bob with Bill Murray?
Oh yeah.
And then what was the one? He's Mr. Holland's Opus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the one with him and Jenna Elfman? And it was like a Disney movie, and there it's not Jungle to Jungle because that's the Tim Allen one.
Gosh, I don't know. I feel like every time I see him, I'm very excited and enjoy him quite a bit.
Yeah. And then saving the last, for best, or best for least, best for last.
Best
Sorry.
for last.
Don't mind me. Fucking Jerry O'Connell in a
Oh,
scene stealing role, probably. I mean, he does get the
man.
most to do,
He's
I
the
think.
MVP of this movie for sure.
It's pretty fun, and we'll be talking about him
Yeah.
plenty. And
Yeah.
then, oh gosh, and then fuck, you've got, well, Eli Roth does pop up in this.
Yeah, he has a little cameo.
Um, you've got a couple extra cameos. I was looking through the
Hmm.
Wikipedia and saw that it also had, who was it? It was Eli Roth and Bonnie Morgan, but I didn't see who she was, but she was one of the Spring Breakers. But Bonnie Morgan, I had to look this up too. But the cameo is notable because she's the girl who crawls out of the fucking TV in The Ring. She's a contortionist.
Oh, okay.
So I was trying to see who was doing any, extra special contorting during this movie to see if it was her.
There is the one girl that is like getting her like ass like pulled down into the raft. Like should the piranhas are like biting up at her and she's kind of like falling into the raft. Maybe that's her. That
Yeah,
seems
it
like it
could
would
be.
be like pretty fucking uncomfortable to do if you're not a contortionist.
Yeah, fucking that's a
Yeah.
rough one too.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's some real good
yeah.
ones. Oh, I can't wait to talk about all of it.
Given that all the kills are technically kind of most all the kills are done by the same means, which is,
Hmm.
little baby fish teeth. Um there's some pretty fun inventive ones.
Yeah,
I
they're very
do
creative.
I like the death in this movie. That's
Oh,
fun.
so good. The gore is so fun too.
Even with the pretty rough CG.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's one of the things that really bothers me. And of course, like it's a 3D movie. So you
Mhm.
always have to expect that there's going to be those dumb fucking pauses where something is like right in front of the screen because you're meant to see it in 3D. And like I don't know how many people are out there that actually enjoy seeing movies in 3D, but cut that shit out. Stop it because it's terrible and it ages so poorly. Every movie that I can think of off the top of my head that was like marketed as being 3D is it has those really rough, like dumb moments. And it just reminds me of being in the theater and being like, this is stupid. I saw this in the theater.
Did you see it in 3D?
I think so. So I gave them my money.
I was working at a movie theater at kind of at the beginning of that. Is it a second wave? I don't know. Just remembered like the first wave of like 3D stuff, like what you're talking
Mhm.
about, like what is like one of the damn, I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head which of the Friday the 13th it was, but had it was
Mm.
the 3D one and had like all the gimmicks and stuff. And
Yeah.
I think that's back when you just had to do the red and blue
Yeah.
glasses thing. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That's rough. I remember even in TV, like there was like some night on Fox where they had maybe multiple shows that were in 3D. I remember going to a
What?
Blockbuster, getting the glasses, right? So still very 90s, everybody. And then watching an episode of Married with Children that was supposed to be in 3D off your television with these glasses. It looked like shit,
I'm
But
sure.
fast forward to 2010 when this movie came out, and even a couple of years prior, just that second wave of I like waves when it's ska. Give me more waves. Love
Oh
it.
God.
But 3D, I'm glad that went away. Like they were trying to convince people to buy 3D televisions to have in their
No.
house.
No.
Yeah,
I
how fucked up is that?
I think if anything, if I'm gonna invest in anything movie wise, and maybe this is just because I love horror films and sound is important, like it's like it would be the speakers, like to hear like all the little creaks and all the little things. Cause sometimes I feel like when I have like when I'm watching something on a shitty TV or a small device, I
Mm-hmm.
miss things, which, the subtitles are always on at this point in life. But
They didn't film the movie in 3D, like with 3D cameras. What a lot of movies were doing, and what was really popular is because 3D just became such a like, hey, it's a fucking extra few dollar surcharge, so that's just going to drive up
mm-hmm,
the revenue,
mm-hmm.
right? And what they did was they were converting a lot of 2D movies to 3D after the fact, and it
Oh,
always looked like shit. So
yeah,
like
that sounds awful.
and then this one did. Like they had a really, I guess, they had a really shitty effects team in converting it all to 3D, and it was all done like all fucking shoddily done at the last minute, and
Mm,
this and this and this. And they brought in like a new VFX team to replace the old one because the director was like, I am like gonna take my name off this, y'all. This is trash.
wow.
So the original version was even worse
Even
CG
worse, I don't like that language.
than we're seeing here.
Okay, the
The
CG.
CG, right?
Okay, okay, okay. I'll calm down.
Um, that being said, with all of that, um, this movie is the only one of this 3D onslaught of movies where I go, yeah, that makes sense. This is great. Like these movies should be in 3D. Like these movies
Yeah,
should have that gimmick of shit being thrown in our faces. I want to
yeah,
see blood
because it's
splatter. I
fun.
want to see,
Actually,
pieces of
this would be a fun, sorry, I totally interrupted you, but
you're
I
good.
was just like, this is important for me to say right at this moment. Um, this movie would be really fun to see in 4D where they like have like water like and things like splashing at you. Like that would be kind of fun for this.
I thought the fourth dimension was smell-o-vision.
Ew, I don't think so, and I hate that word.
Yeah. So
No.
I think you're getting to 5D territory.
Am I? I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't even know, but I want some fucking like water splashing at me if there's fucking killer fish and you're seeing people, go for it. There are some good practical effects though.
Do you really want like dirty ass like repurposed water like splashing over your popcorn or your straw on your drink? Like, do you want that?
For piranha, hell yeah.
Maybe. At least it's fresh water.
Yeah.
So it's not salt
The,
water being shot at us.
yeah.
Which I'm gonna ask, made it very clear how we felt about the ocean. Please visit our episode on Deep Blue Sea. I'm curious,
We're back.
how do you feel about lakes in that whole
Hmm.
situation? Because I think some of the same rules apply.
Oh, absolutely. If not even more so, because there's like less movement in lakes. But okay, I don't know, Lake Victoria. I don't even know if it's real.
It's
But
not.
it's not real. Okay. It looks like Lake Havasu in
It is.
Arizona. It is. Okay. It looks like Lake Havasu. And I have been to Lake Havasu as a teenager. My mom dragged me there. And it was very, very beautiful. But we went during spring break. So all of this shit that is in this movie, I absolutely was like, I cannot believe that these people chose a fucking lake to go party at. I did not get in the lake. I was on a boat, but I would
Mm-mm.
not get in the lake. I won't swim in that water. Absolutely not. I don't know what's in that water. I'm not
It's
doing
probably
it.
pretty grody.
Yeah, so
Um,
I just laid on the boat. That's it. Yeah. So I feel the same way about lakes as I do about the ocean. How about you?
oh, definitely the same. I mean, just, it's a fear, it's a respect kind
Yeah.
of situation. Um, Granted, are there sharks? No, but hey, you know
There's a
what?
lot of other things.
There's a lot of fucking other things that I just, why, you know, I'm
Yeah.
good.
I don't need to know what's in the lake. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I see Elizabeth Shue at a lake, I'm for sure not getting that fucking lake because isn't she in Lake Placid as well? Is she not in that? No, she is not. Oh, she's in Hollow Man.
Oh boy, Hollow Man's that's a rough one.
Oh yeah.
I've only seen it the once, and I just remember the like invisible boob squeezing, and I'm like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
This is
We should talk
terrible.
about that movie sometime just to make you uncomfortable. Uh
Just the cutting edge of special effects is how are we going to make it look like? Just get that hand out of the way. We just want to see boob and just have it squeeze and contort. How have I said that word so many times so far? But yeah, no, I think a lot of the same rules apply.
hmm
Don't get me in that lake. I'm
hmm
good. I
Yeah.
once capsized my kayak in Lake Washington. I live in the Seattle area, and not for you, but for the audience. Um, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm just like, who knows how deep that shit is under me? And I'm just
Yeah.
flipping my legs. And then I just
No.
remember someone telling me after the fact, like, nah, dude, there's fish in there that are as big as you are, dude.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine.
I don't want to be around a fish that if it bumped into me, like I feel like somebody like walked into me. That's absolutely not. I don't care if the fish is harmless. I don't want to be near a big fish. That sounds terrible. Also, the other thing about this lake situation, especially like Lake Havasu and spring break, these motherfuckers are on boats and sea-doos and they are drunk and fucked up. They are like wasted. None of them should be driving any recreational vehicles. I don't even
I
want them
agree.
paddling. I don't even want them paddling on a rowboat. Like, and I mean, oh no, absolutely not. Even if they're in those parked boats, I don't even like that. I don't like people in that situation drunk. You could fall over off the side of the boat, hit your head, all kinds of terrible things. Slippery.
Yeah, that's how the drummer of the Beach Boys died.
Really?
He had a great solo album too. Yeah, I think he fell off a boat and drowned.
Oh God, that's terrible. See, you have to be careful on boats.
Dennis
Don't
Wilson,
fuck
rest
with
in peace,
them.
my guy. Yeah.
Oh, sad.
Maybe we should just kind of rattle off some mistruths about piranhas.
Did you do some research or did the research team actually do something?
No, this fucking lazy fucks. Let me
It's
but I've got it
always
though.
fucking break time.
what I do appreciate the kind of workaround is that like no, these are ancient piranhas. These are not
Yes.
your
Yes.
run of the mill South American situations.
Yeah. It's a good way to get away with really anything that you want.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
these things are just ancient creatures. It's like the Meg. It's like who the fuck knows what the fuck's going to be under
Yeah.
there. It
Yeah.
makes its own rules.
It's all speculation at that point.
If that shark and Meg wanted to start just fucking flying out of nowhere, I'd be like, ah, well, we didn't know. The science wasn't there. We didn't know. Now we know. So kind of the same situation. They can
That
do
big
whatever the
ass
fuck they
creature
want.
just flying.
Just with its little it'd be like a T-Rex. It's got tiny little fins that like can't really get it up that high, but and you can tell it's really working for it, you know. So you just have to kind of admire that it's trying, and while you're trying to get away, of course. But yeah, piranhas, I mean, feel like they've been around for millions of years. That's also very true.
Okay, that's true. That's great.
They can be cannibalistic, as
Mhm.
Christopher Lloyd says, you know. I saw this can't be right, but it might be that a T-Rex, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, the bite is 3 times harder than a piranha. But a T-Rex is way the fuck
Are
bigger.
we talking about like to scale though? Like how they say like an
No.
ant can pick up like 8 times its body weight. So, it sounds really impressive, but it's a fucking ant. Not me like shitting on ants.
Damn, fucking ants catching strays in this fucking podcast. God damn.
I do fucking hate ants though.
Yeah, me too. But I don't know. I read through it quickly. I'm sorry, I'm not a researcher. But they don't like now while they do have kind of a meat diet, like they're not going after humans. They're not going after anything big.
Anything that moves
Yeah, a
for
lot of it was
hours
all
on end.
yeah, a lot of it was really based off some people in South America really trying to impress Teddy Roosevelt and were like, hey, you want to see how fucked up these fish can get? So they'd catch a bunch of them, starve them, and then throw
Wow.
a dead cow into the area where it is, and then yeah, dude, they're fucking starving. They
Like
start eating the
swarming it.
cow. Yeah, it was a dead cow, so it wasn't even anything alive. So then
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt goes back and it's just like, whoa, fuck! I saw this thing that's just fucking eats people's hands off and fucking ate this fucking cow. And man, just like Jurassic Park, why always like a cow to like demonstrate? I mean, I guess humans eat
There's
cows too, but
plenty of
it's always
them.
to
Yeah.
demonstrate how dangerous something is. You just
Yeah.
lower a poor fucking cow.
Just, just a big slow moving mammal.
I know, just poor dumb looking fucking things, and you're just like, dude, you're just dropping into a raptor fucking tent. Has no idea. God damn. Um, but some it turns out, just like humans, some piranhas are also vegetarian.
Oh,
So
interesting. Do they still have sharp little teeth if they're vegetarian?
they're just pickier at restaurants. So these piranhas, though, this is a completely different fucking situation. I don't think anybody's like actually worried about piranhas in real life, maybe. I think the piranha
No.
attacks on humans are very, very minimal. And that's like you are bleeding out or dying.
Aren't they like in a very secluded, like a very singular place on the earth? And that's really the only place that you can find them? They're in South America?
South America. Yeah, if you'll find, but I mean, they've been found in China, they've been found in the United States, but that's only generally because of people who capture them as like exotic pets.
In the United States, fucking where?
I don't know, I've read Texas.
Okay, well, I'm never going back to Texas. Already,
Mm-mm.
Texas has a lot of fucking strikes against it. So,
Yeah, so we're good. But yeah, but really, they just find like a couple.
okay.
I mean, shit, we got fucking like alligators and shit. That's way scarier than fucking.
Yeah.
And granted, most of that's kept over in Florida. Y'all can fucking deal with
Yeah.
the fucking
Yeah.
little
The
mini
gators.
dinosaurs that come out and
Yeah,
eat your
our little
babies.
mini dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm good. So let's hop into this movie.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm so ready.
Yeah. So, like again, cute note that you've got Richard Dreyfuss here in the beginning. Never
I
fish
love it.
alone. You know,
Yeah.
you never know. Shit can be dangerous. You can get
I
attacked by something.
I would bet there's a lot of people that fish alone though.
Oh, I'm sure they do. They probably prefer it. It's probably a real peaceful situation.
I absolutely would think so. And I mean, boo on him because littering is what gets him into this fucking mess in the first place. So that's what you
Yeah, it
get for
was really
littering in the lake.
it was kind of that straw that broke the camel's back, kind of, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
not to talk about hurting camels, but the just dropping that last beer bottle, not even being
Mm-hmm.
able to drink it, dude. So it's like you've just fucking just had to write that one off.
Yeah.
Um, and doing a lot of work to catch what I thought was kind of a small fish. I was expecting him to catch a
He
bigger
was
fish.
excited for that fish. Yeah.
He's just talking to himself, being a fucking weirdo. I love that. I read that just some behind the scenes that like Richard Dreyfuss didn't originally want to do this because he didn't want to be like kind of like poking fun at himself and his role in Jaws.
Oh,
But
come on. We're past that, Richard.
then, who would have known? It turns out paying him more money got that done pretty quickly. He was like, oh
Mm.
yeah, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I'll do it for more money. And
Yeah, of
yes.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, fuck, I'll be in your thing. And like this opening's great. It's just, well, actually, it's not. Never mind. Let me take that back. It's great because I like him, but again, just the CG is so bad when it's like they're eating him up and they reveal the title, and you're just like, this looks like trash.
When I first saw the opening of this movie, I was really, really worried for the rest of the movie because I was like, oh man, this is gonna be fucking rough. Although I do like the chunky like chunks of skin, like his hand popping up afterwards with like there's so much like flesh chunks in this
Yep.
movie and it's fucking amazing. Um, but when I saw that like vortex situation, that I don't know what you would call that, vortex feels right, in the lake, and his boat is just going around in circles. I was like, this isn't what happens.
When you have the water pressure shifting, I guess I don't know if it.
Could that happen? Like, I know that this movie is not like the be all end all of science, but I just don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know if it kind of works like a toilet that way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like when you have the
Super
pressure
extreme.
shifting,
Uh-huh.
I'll allow it. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, when I first saw that, now like at once I watched it the second time, by the way, everyone, I've seen this movie like 12 times. Uh, I've seen it so many times. When I watched it the second time, then I thought it was more fun because I was like, okay, now I understand the vibe of this movie. I wasn't really sure what to expect the first time I watched it. I'm always more critical the first watch.
100%. One thing, hey, we're doing back-to-back Dimension films.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
The hard part though is that you're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, Dimension brings me right back. But then also I'm like, oh, Weinstein Bros. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, gross.
So Harvey Weinstein allegedly hated this movie.
Well, he can fuck off for more reasons than one.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm just like, fuck you, motherfucker. You're a
Yeah.
fucking creep loser. So
Go
fuck
to
you.
hell.
And it makes me like this movie better because it
Good. Yay.
makes me
Okay.
less like him. However I can, I guess. So really taking one for the team here. Um, so we've got this opening, and then we get introduced to our main set of characters like pretty quickly, right? Because
Yeah.
we have Jake, who is just a fucking dork of a fucking kid.
He
Jesus.
really is. I don't know if have you ever watched Vampire Diaries? Probably
No.
not. Yeah, so he's from Vampire Diaries. That's the only thing I like really know him in, and his character is also really annoying and dorky in that show as well.
Is he one of the vampires or does he have the diary?
He has the diary, of course.
Okay. That makes sense.
No, he's not a vampire in that show. I didn't finish that show, but he is human for all of the seasons that I had seen. So,
Mhm.
and he's fine. He's whatever. I think he's fine in this movie, but yeah, his character's a fucking dork. Absolutely.
Yeah, if he was like the only lead of this movie, it
Mm,
would have been rough. If you weren't
yeah.
giving me like Elizabeth Shue and Adam Scott, like
Hmm.
it would have been really tough because his whole thing is dumb. And man, Jerry
Yeah.
O'Connell does his best to really be like, you are fucking being wooden right now. Let me just elevate this just
Hmm.
fucking to 1,000,000% all the time.
Yeah.
And
Starts at a 10. Actually, he starts at like an 8, I'd say, and then just raises it to like an 11 by the end.
he's a showman.
Yeah.
Um, so you get introduced to Elizabeth Shue, who's beating the shit out of drunks and threatening to tase people in the
Mm.
dick. Maybe not in the dick, but she said he
Oh no,
thunderbolts or something.
yeah, that means she is threatening to tase them in the dick. Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
just love Jake's like, oh mom, like look when she's like fucking
Mom, you
fucking these kids.
rascal.
Yeah, like he does this like cute, like little like smirk, like, ah gee. Um, I feel bad for her too, because I'm like, okay, well, you're totally being like sexually harassed by this fucking young ass kid. And she's like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as much as that would be frustrating, it also would be really fun to be in that position of power, like as a woman with these like young dumb fucks. I think I would have a good time arresting them.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Um, Gosh. And then we're also introduced to this weird love interest between Jake and Kelly.
is gorgeous. I don't know how to say her last name, Jessica Zor. It's
Sure.
like Shohr, but she's
Zh-
gorgeous.
It's like a jar, jor.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a Z sound. I'm not sure. But her whole character is a little confusing to me. But at the same time though, she seems like someone who just goes where the day takes her and
I love that
she
for her.
gives no fucks about anybody else except for
Yeah.
her just having a good time and just following whatever she wants to do. So
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah. And like in a chill way too. Like she's very chill about her decision. She's like, you know what? Yeah, I do love champagne. Why the fuck not? Like
Yeah.
she's very chill about her weird decision making. But yeah, they're the least interesting characters of the movie for sure.
And then, Jake being fucking lime green jello, when she's I like what she's like, just kind of seeing Todd Dupree, and he's like, "Oh, Todd Dupree, I get to, I get to fucking educate you on standards." Allegedly, this fucking asshole Jake. But I like how she's like, he's a really good DJ,
So there's that.
and he says he has backstage tickets to
Yeah.
something, which I'm like,
Yeah.
backstage to what? The stage was floating on the water. What's behind that stage? It's just more
Maybe
water.
maybe there's more stages. You don't know.
I mean, or maybe just backstage is like
It's just a term.
a state of mind, rather,
It's a state of mind. Yeah.
just that extra VIP.
Mhm.
So maybe that's what she meant. And then probably when she found out that he didn't have tickets literally
Oh, that was
behind the
it.
stage, she was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Get the fuck out of here. You said backstage, motherfucker. And here we are on the side, fucking idiot. So I'm gonna get on this boat I'm gonna get on this porn boat.
I'm sure that's exactly how it happened. But that's all the parts
Yeah.
we didn't see. Yeah.
Yeah. But just fucking Jake, you're just, with your fucking shaggy hair in your Pixies shirt.
I knew
And,
you were going to say something about that pixie shirt.
it's like the teenager equivalent of like cute single dad is like teenager with, a cute, mouthy younger sister, you know,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
like wielding a trombone that's like literally taller than she is. How is she playing that trombone? And but
Good
at the
for
same time,
her. She's crying.
she's how can you reach that far? All right.
That's true.
I did like how she was like, I'm gonna start a rock band. And, then
I
the
know, because
kid's
I thought
like,
I was just like, why did she think she could start a rock band? He's like, no, the fuck you're not being a trombone player.
first of all, yes, you can. And this is the second time I'll bring up ska
Oh, here we go.
this episode.
This episode is the key phrase there.
Yeah, she started a ska band. That'd be great. Bring
He
that. What
could.
I don't I forget what
I
wave
didn't
we're
think
on right
about
now, but
ska naturally.
yeah, so gosh, so we're introduced also to the child there too, the first. Even though I'm like, if these
Mm,
children are supposed to be babysat, like who was like watching her when she was just sitting there talking to
seriously.
Sammy is her name, I believe, Kelly Brook's
I
character.
mean, she
And
is old enough.
where's the other kid?
Both of those kids are old enough to like be in the house by themselves if they're not going anywhere. But I don't know, to be out,
I don't think all parents would agree with that.
how old do you think that girl is?
10 tops.
Absolutely, she could be by herself. I mean, I had a single teen mom, so like not to call out my mom or anything on record, but like I was by myself fucking young, probably like 7, 6, 7. What a latchkey kid.
You've called out your poor mom plenty on this show. Um,
Well, if she listens, we'll find out.
yeah.
But I think she's old enough to be by herself in the safety of her own home at that age. I don't think she should just be running around town during spring break, like at this table, meeting this beautiful woman who is a wild, wild girl, and then being exposed to Jerry O'Connell a minute later.
Oh my gosh. We do get Jerry O'Connell here. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it was probably plenty coked out before this
Absolutely.
scene started. So like when we do see him do like coke later on, this is like mid. He's
Yeah.
already been doing this like
Yes,
for however
yes.
many days straight. He is
Absolutely.
insane and apparently needs a scout, not even like fuck it, or a location scout, not even like Jake took them anywhere that was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Or we say they'd be like, oh, here's the spot, here we are, and they'd be like, oh wow, so great for you
Well,
to take us here.
they park the boat and they do some like underwater like footage and stuff. I thought that was
Yeah,
the spot.
I guess so. Well, they're just like, I mean, I don't know, some normal ass. Do you
Um,
think Jerry O'Connell on his own couldn't just drive around and find a cliff and be like, oh yeah, let's park under this thing?
Probably, but you only have so many hours of like the right light. Like you want to make sure those titties look great. Like get that
It's
good
true.
light. I did write down his shopping list. It was body paint, condoms, and Ready Whip.
Oh geez.
I love
Ready
it.
Whip, are they trying to like reenact like oh, what's that
Varsity
movie?
Blues.
Varsity Blues? Yeah. I was gonna say not another teen movie.
That too. That's even better. Oh, Chris
Yeah.
Evans. Okay. Um, and Ali Larder. Damn, put whipped cream on everybody. He's right. The Weddy Rip is a good idea. Now I'm like, you know what? I see his point.
That's
I'm
true.
sure you could always find something to do with ready whip. I can't fucking say
And
it.
Jake, as being, hey, look, for being a dumb teenager, he makes the smart choice and says, yes, absolutely, I will
Yes,
accept this job. Because come on.
100%. Yeah. Because Wild Wild Girls clearly is very well known because this is your equivalent to Girls Gone Wild, which do we want to talk about Girls Gone Wild?
I just remember, look, I wasn't actively seeking these commercials. They were just on
No,
all the
they were
fucking
seeking
time.
everyone.
Yeah. And it was during like, late night,
Hmm.
like maybe when like they hadn't quite switched over to the infomercials, but I'm thinking like late night, MTV, Comedy Central, VH1, like
Yeah.
those channels. Root was seeing it there a lot too. That's where I saw it the most.
Yeah, it was just late night commercials for Girls Gone Wild and just a lot of like black bars across like nipples, like and all of those things. And what was always interesting to me about Girls Gone Wild, of
Yeah,
course, is
please share.
it's not like okay, like I yes, I guess it would fall into the category of porn, but like who is it for, really? Because if you're gonna watch porn, like full on porn, if you have access to that and you have access to Girls Gone Wild, like why wouldn't you just choose the full on porn? Is it the attraction to the young college girls? Like, is that what the draw is? That they're real people?
I don't know. It depends. Like if you're really into like amateur porn, like there's a
Mm,
little bit of that, but I mean, I've never seen, full disclosure, I've never seen a Girls Gone Wild movie.
me either. Only the commercials.
So, and just like a lot of movie trailers, I feel like I get the gist of it. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
think I need to see this. Yeah, you kind of explained it all to me. And I don't know. There's probably other options. But I
I'm
guess
gonna send that to the research team. I'm gonna have them watch Girls Gone Wild. Let
every
us
single one
know.
of them,
Every single one. Go through all the tapes.
and they start their own podcast. So Pod Gone Wild. Um, so he makes the absolute right choice.
He
Look,
does.
if I
Yeah.
was a teenager, I'd be like, I'd figure out a way to get out of babysitting. I can do this.
But also like to the best case scenario for like a young boy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's into it.
And he keeps trying to look it up, on his computer, and fucking Elizabeth Shue, like, hey, look, moms, we already said this before, stop barging in. You're never going to find something you like.
You can't, that was not even an appropriate length of time for a knock. Like, let him say come in or like just a minute. You got to give
Yeah.
him time for one of those two things because you have if you have a boy between 14 and whatever age from there, I mean, I won't go younger than 14, they're definitely jerking off. Like, don't barge into their room. I'm not looking forward to that time.
I think you're true. I think you're selling other genders short. I bet all just kids are just dilling themselves.
Well, okay, I agree. I agree. I don't think it needs to be gender specific, but especially
Boys don't cover their tracks quite as.
no, that's the thing. Like they're just like all times of day, doesn't matter who's home, like literally full volume, like
Yeah,
the website that he's what like there's like moaning. You're like, you don't own a fucking pair of headphones, bro? Like get that shit out. But yeah, I do like his reaction when she enters. I think that's his best acting
I think so
is
too.
every time she opens the door and he's like, so just like doing homework and stuff.
I'm just thinking if I was in his case and I had a computer in my room and I was up to those purposes, um, rearrange your room, get some, turn that computer screen
The
away from
computer
the
facing the
door.
door. Yeah, exactly. Come on. Or lock your door.
Well, maybe he doesn't have a lock. I remember going to Home Depot and getting like one of those like latch locks and
You did
just
not.
drilling it into my teenage bedroom. My mom was
And
pissed.
I was going to say, your mom was like, this could only be for terrible things.
Oh yeah, well,
There's
yes,
no way.
absolutely.
You're just like, oh, just for casual TV watching, you know?
Yeah, dude, I'm just hanging out, whatever, just having girls over, and don't worry. And yeah, no, she made it was like, no, you take that off right fucking now.
Yeah.
And yeah. So Elizabeth Shue's just like, hey, you got to babysit. And he's like, okay. But he's not going to. He's
Mhm.
gonna fucking pay
No.
those kids,
Mm-mm.
you know, with a
Absolutely.
with a premium. And then just like dumb kids. That's why it's hard because it's you don't I mean, you got to know that the kids would be fucking stupid and get you in trouble anyway because they're
Absolutely.
kids. So honestly, I'd be like, don't even fucking be out $60. Like, just be like, I'm just gonna take the consequence. This is worth it.
No, no. This is the thing though. If they don't get the money, mom finds out sooner and then the plan is canceled. You're just buying time. You know
Yeah,
you're going to get caught. They're going to do something dumb, but you're buying the time to actually go and have fun and then you deal with the consequences later. That's how I'm seeing it. So he should have known that they were going to do something stupid, but yeah, he's just buying time. Like come on. It's got that Danny, she's super hot. She's flirting with him. Like he's, not understanding the situation at all, but just fully in it. I
yeah.
appreciate his business dealings and the little girl for negotiating.
We get introduced to Ving Rhames later on this evening when him and Elizabeth Shue find Richard Dreyfuss's body,
Yes.
which is looking
Pretty
pretty
fucked up.
mangled. Yeah, looking like kind of like a bloody
Oh
like a
no.
completely finished corn on the cob covered in blood. Just all the
Oh yeah, yeah,
just pieces and ugh.
yeah.
It's awful. He's looking
Gross.
rough. And so they're like, okay, so clearly something's wrong. But we
Yeah.
can't tell everybody to get out of the fucking water here because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Ving Rhames is like very clear about like, this is how we make, all of our, money for the year and this and this and this and this. Like Elizabeth Shue doesn't already fucking know that.
Well, I mean, it's for the audience, yeah. And what I do like about Elizabeth Shue's character, she's like immediately like I'm thinking about closing the lake
Yeah.
instead of, the mayor from Jaws, go down in infamy. Yeah, immediately she's like, we need to close the lake. And even he's like, oh no, that's a terrible idea. Everybody's gonna be fucking pissed at you. Like, this is when we make all of our money.
Yeah.
So, you have to show that she's smart but also like her hands are kind of tied.
So we see, Richard Dreyfuss, he's dead. And then I think pretty like scene after this is when that diver does a little backflip into the water, gets eaten up immediately. Um
Yeah, they had to just throw a death in there because I think otherwise there would have been a little bit too much space in between the next, like the first and the next death. So, yeah,
yeah.
kind of.
You get your intro to Adam Scott after this, which is pretty good
Mm,
because all the spring breakers are spring breaking as they do.
yeah,
And then Adam Scott with his nerd team. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring up Dina Meyer.
I
But
noticed you didn't bring up Dina Meyer because I gave her like a little industry legend question mark.
absolutely industry legend. But
Yeah,
the challenge though is she is so criminally underused in this movie. She barely says anything and she's barely in it.
I know. What's the point? They could have cast any random actress at that point because yeah, she doesn't get to do enough. She's so great. Just a sidebar, we also have already given Adam Scott and Jerry O'Connell industry legend titles, so I just want to make sure everyone is aware of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But
fair.
yeah, Dina Meyer, she's so great.
I know it's just hard. She's only in it for a little bit. I feel
I
like
know.
everything, every single, it's like the fucking Saw movies too. It's like everything I see with her in it, I'm like, there needs to be more of her. And
Yes.
this movie, what the fuck? You're
Yeah.
wasting your talent here. Why does
Yeah.
Oh, I like Paul Shear, but why is
Paul
Paul Shear
Shear's
getting
fun.
more
He's
lines?
really fun in this movie though. He's so fun.
He shows up in the sequel too, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah. So does Ving Rhames.
Okay. I was curious because I was like watching this movie like twice. You see him fall off the boat, but like they never answered like what happened to Paul Shear.
Yeah, he shows up in the sequel and him and what is the character's name? Deputy Fallon have like a cute little
Ving
like
Rhames.
bro friendship. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're fun in the second one.
Who you totally thought was dead in this movie, but is clearly not.
Yeah, he's not. But he does take quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
Um yeah, she definitely is underused. And I like Adam Scott's character doesn't have a lot to do, but the lines that he has that he gets to shout out whenever Adam Scott is given like something to exclaim, he really fucking delivers it. Like he does that in Krampus too. And Krampus the same thing.
I have it written down here.
Uh-huh.
Um, Adam Scott's holy shit. God damn.
Every
Every
everything he gets to shout. It's so good.
it's so good. We've got so Adam Scott and his team of divers and seismologists,
Hmm.
who are like, hey, we noticed some real fucking weird rumbling. Let's go check this out. Would you accompany us? Um, police. And so they go over to do that. We cut right back over to the boat where you've got, Jerry O'Connell and the ladies and
Hmm.
Kelly and Jake.
The big group.
Oh, right. Yes. And so they aren't there yet. This is when they decide to get on board. And, you know, Jake, oh gosh, what a turd. He like shows up, they're filming what is it called? Wet and Wild Girls. What's it called? I
Wild
don't
Wild Girls.
Wild Wild Girls. I like Wet and Wild
Hmm.
Girls better, to be honest. But I guess they're
I
not
do too.
always
They're not always wet.
in an
Yeah.
aquatic setting, but
Yeah. So that would be very specific.
it's just like he just shows up and he just starts like really like getting into just this group of men just yelling stuff at these women,
Yeah,
yelling
he does. Yeah.
motor boat, and
He
you're just like,
immediately is just like, yeah, this is my life now.
he's like, this is great, I like this, wow, and you're just like, oh my gosh, dude, get out of here, act like you've been there before, man. um so I like how Jerry O'Connell and Paul Scheer are both supposed to be like, filming this, but
Yeah.
I'd like to see that camera footage because it's them like
Oh, it's got to be
they're
terrible.
it's gotta be terrible. It's just the way they're just
Yeah. I mean, it is supposed to look amateur and like very raw. So, I mean, maybe the camera shaking is exciting for some people. I don't
I
know.
guess so. But yeah, so Jake's gonna get on board. Kelly shows up and is like, how do you know these fucking creeps? But she's very quickly, I just don't get her motivation because I mean, clearly
She,
she is into Jake,
yeah,
but
she's just along for the ride. And I think anytime she like discovers something that has to do with Jake, she's like, okay, how can I work myself into this situation? And if she thinks she can be kind of flirty and like
yeah,
sassy with him, like she's just doing that. So, we've all been there. So I can see like Kelly's motivation being just that. Um,
yeah.
and so, that's just kind of what her character is.
How old are they supposed to be again?
They're at least first year of like college because he says like, "Oh, you're back for the summer."
Oh, okay,
So, yeah,
okay.
they've got to be at least first year of college. But oh no, actually at one point Danny, one of the Wild Wild girls, she says that Kelly's not legal yet. So cuz that would imply that she's under 18 obviously, but
I don't know how the
Um,
labor laws work when you, because I mean, you can be 16 or younger, in a lot of places, but to work, but well, no, I mean, I guan you can like work at a restaurant that serves alcohol when you're under 21. So I mean, you could probably work on a
mhm.
porn set if you're under 18.
Oh yeah, I would think so.
They probably just got,
You just can't be on camera doing
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
they just have to, yeah, they just, what you do is you blindfold the children who are like serving the snacks or maybe using their
Yeah.
little fingers to fix something on a camera. I don't know, as you do, uh, so they can shoot this porn. But but then kind of like Blair Witch, they need to like all turn around and face the corner and like while they're
My
filming.
gosh.
So
That's that's how it works. Yeah.
that'd be my best guess. Let's pop back over to the kids. The kids clearly they're like after 20 seconds, they're like, we're not going to stay in this house.
Oh yeah, they don't
Um,
last 5 minutes.
yeah. And then like a bunch of fucking dipshits like they are paddle their way out to the island and then lose
Yeah.
the boat.
Not interested in anything that has to do with the kids. They fucking suck.
No, I just don't want anything with the children. It's so dumb.
No.
You could have deleted them entirely from the entire thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we didn't need them. Yeah.
And then we get this. What was probably the center, like at the time, the centerpiece of this movie is that underwater scene
Hmm.
with the two women.
I love Jerry O'Connell saying, "Look at these goddess aquatic bitches." I
I
just I love using the word goddess to refer to a woman in the same sentence as bitches. It's perfect for his character.
and just how, oh my gosh, just the both of them, all of the men on this boat. It's
So ridiculous.
it's so ridiculous. I mean, like, look, my only note was, how are you holding your breaths for that long? Y'all are like,
Well, I'm assuming they're like popping back up, taking a breath, going back down, because they're like he's waiting for them to like come back into the shot a couple times. So
hmm,
that's my guess. I mean, it works, Kyle. Those like, but like these women, god damn, their bodies are like you all know if you've been listening to this, I love nudity in films. And this one's pretty good. Those women are fucking gorgeous. Good for them. And they make it pretty egregious, like just letting this swimming for like so long. This is already a short movie.
and so much of the movie was dedicated to like that scene. Like the movie's
Mhm.
like an hour 28 with credits, and they're like, no,
Yeah.
we're gonna just spend 5 minutes just on this. Let's just watch
Yeah.
this,
Yeah,
you know.
as they should.
Oh gosh, yeah, maybe.
It's I mean, everybody went to see this movie. I mean, not maybe not everybody, but I think a lot of people went to see this movie expecting that they would see scenes like that. So
Yeah,
if they weren't there, it probably would have disappointed the target audience, which is pervy men and me.
and just sitting there, just hot and bothered. Maybe you need some of that water splashed on you,
Yeah, the see, it would have been
just to
it would have worked for two purposes.
just to fucking cool you
Immersion
off.
and just like a cold shower.
Yeah. We're kind of back and forth, kind of, hopping between Elizabeth Shue and Adam Scott and their situation and the
Adam
boat.
Scott
But
looking hot on that boat with the flannel and those like 80s looking glasses and the messy windblown hair. Yes.
yeah,
Yes
that
to Adam
works.
Scott. I love his little
100%.
scientist look.
The divers all, they both go down there and then start seeing like they go through this crevice, seeing all of these goddamn piranha eggs.
Ah,
So nothing grosses me out more than fish eggs. And
yes.
people eat that
Oh,
shit. Ew. Have
mm-mm.
you ever had
No.
like a sushi with like the fish eggs like on it?
I don't order the ones that have the eggs on it or I take them off.
Ew, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
I don't like the sensation of them. Like it like pops in your mouth. Ugh, gross. No.
Ugh, yeah, it
Mm-mm.
just pops and then they just start swimming around. You get little bites in the
Ew.
inside of your cheek.
No.
Terrible. No, thank you. So yeah, my wife tries to offer me fucking sushi with fish eggs on it. I'm like, you need to get the
Mm-mm.
fuck out of here. I will have my boring ass California rolls by myself. Get the fuck out. And I am fine. I'm not an adventurous person, though
No, same.
I did eat escargot once for
Ugh,
her. Uh,
gross.
her granddad
Mm-mm.
offered it, and I was like, oh fuck, god damn, I
And
can't say
how
no.
did that taste?
Like butter and garlic, to be honest. I cheated because
You just
I was
swallow
just
it.
like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just try to swallow this whole thing and just get this down and
I'm not
be
surprised.
like, yep, I did it. I am not going to relish this
There's
snail in my mouth. I'm good.
there's just certain things that like I'm like, okay, there's already so many foods that taste amazing that I don't need to add a lot more of exotic things to the list. But
Mm,
also there's mental blocks to certain things. Like you won't catch me eating calamari either. I don't need to digest tentacles. I don't need that. No, thank you. No suction cups, no tentacles, no eggs, no slugs, no snails, no pokey things, none of that shit. Yuck. Mm-mm.
100%.
And there you
Same
go.
page.
There you have
Yeah.
it.
Um, but I'm like, all of that being said, I'm like, why does this guy feel compelled to like take his like glove off and like touch these fucking eggs? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You're asking for it.
No.
It's
Mm-mm. Yeah.
terrible.
And I know that they're divers, so they probably, I shouldn't say probably, they definitely have a lot less fear than we do of like being underwater in that circumstance. But if I saw that giant like cavern, I'd be like, oh, we're not prepared for this. We should probably get like a bigger team out here. Like they said, it was like one of the biggest trenches they've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you probably should do a little bit more homework before just like going in there. If you sent a team over immediately, obviously it was something big, and then you found out it was something bigger. So let's do a little bit more work before we just start sending people swimming down into their death.
Yeah. Like literally, come on, like do your research, scientists. Like let's
Yeah,
and
that's your
also
job.
y'all aren't lake explorers, y'all are seismologists. So
Yeah.
like, yes, there's a crack in the ground, yes, but you get the diving team to go in and take care of that. I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't seem great. And I love that Adam Scott's first impulse after, they're screaming in terror because they're being
Yeah.
eaten alive by piranhas is to jump in to go save them. No, they're done. They sound like they're in terrible shape. Like maybe get a better read of the situation before you just get your wetsuit on. You don't even have a bulletproof wetsuit. Like he's just going for it.
I know. And he comes out and he would have needed one because he comes out and like you see somehow he ended up okay, which is like pieces of his wetsuit all bitten off.
Yeah, they do a
Um,
couple times they do that in this movie where like for some reason the piranha are like, nah, he's good. Like I'm not gonna
yeah.
eat him. But I do like the her body afterwards coming out of the water. It looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I know that was pretty good. And again, like when the CG is bad, that sucks. But when
Mm-hmm.
there's practical stuff of just mutilated corpses and stuff, yeah, well, that looks good.
Ah,
More of that.
yeah, so much. Like we need all of it.
Yeah. So clearly something's fucked up, and mom's trying to get a hold of
Oh,
fucking
Jake.
Jake. And Jake just not even trying to hide it. He's like, oh gosh, mom, I don't know, blah 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 blah
Just
blah.
while they're
And just
yelling
hearing,
about put your tits on the glass.
yeah, are you with someone? And I'd be like, no, mom, I was just listening to porn. Sorry. Just or yeah.
You
I
know,
was just
you know how
listening.
I do.
You know how I do, mom. Just
Just always porn.
right in front of the doorway. Just just doing as I do while the children are downstairs. And he's like, but hey, I got things to do. I still have parties to go to. Let's make this happen.
Mhm.
And just more of this weird, just them on the boat. It's fun. Though I think they do like the body shots around here where
Yeah,
you're trying
yeah.
to like I like how even Paul Shear's just like, I'm shooting a porno, not a drama.
I know he's so good. He's actually really fun in this whole scene
Mhm.
because he also, when they're trying to convince Kelly to do the body shot, he's like, "Come on, everybody's doing it!" Like he's like literally doing like those anti-drug videos, like peer pressure voice, which is really fun. But I also love Jerry O'Connell doing the body shot because he's so creepy about it. Like everything he does is so perfectly creepy. Like
Yeah.
we've met that guy. Like I feel like everyone has met that guy, or at least women have all met that guy. But
Yeah,
he
dude at the
like
party is just like, stop,
is just
bro.
going too hard and just making everybody uncomfortable. Yeah, that's him. But yeah, that's pretty fun. All the stuff that's happening on the boat.
And then she's like, yeah, sure. I'll do it. I'll let Jake do it because this is gonna where we get our
Mhm.
sexual attention with them. And he was doing it very awkwardly. Like
I
none of that.
know. Lean into it, bro. Like lean into it.
Yeah, none of that was hot. And also
Yeah.
just it just seems very like, I don't know, I just when it's tequila, and you can tell it's getting everywhere, getting down in
Mhm.
places. I'm sorry, is that I don't think that's good to have alcohol
Did it go
getting
down
all your
like
place.
that low? Did it like go to her bikini line?
It looked, or at least with one of them, it looked like it was. Now that
I
I was
mean, I
looking.
think I think you'd be okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe. I've
Mm,
I've never I've never had that experience, so I can't speak on it.
yeah. So, so all of that drama is still happening, whatever. But
Mhm.
the
Kelly
exciting
gets
part,
sick. So now she's just on a boat throwing
uh,
up, which is that's the worst.
so as they're pulling, Tina Myers just fucking just destroyed corn on the cobbed body. Just if they're just leaving that in the boat. I would have just picked her up and just tossed her back out. I don't know what they ended up doing with her body, but
I
they
mean,
keep the
bury her, I guess, closed casket.
Jake didn't give a fuck with Jerry O'Connell. He's just like, I've got a plan.
Bait. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not even dead yet.
Yeah.
I've got a plan. I think that counts as murder, though.
No, he died. You're skipping ahead.
He was okay. We'll get to
He
that,
was
but
definitely dead after he said wet t-shirt contest. Those were his last final words. Deep,
uh,
meaningful words.
I wonder if he was saying wet t-shirt, like insinuating, make my t-shirt wet, throw me back in. Like it was like the
No,
plan.
no. That was not the plan.
So backtrack a little bit. Dina Meyer's fucking dead. The other guy, I forget his name, Sam maybe, is fucking dead.
You are not getting
And
his body.
no, don't go in
Mm-mm.
after that. But they did find one little piranha that made its way onto the boat, which they may have somehow found a little trash can for. Very cute. And then we get our Christopher Lloyd introduction.
And he's just awesome and crazy as ever.
I'm so sorry. Who's the woman he's with?
I don't know.
We'll have to take a look. 'Cause I couldn't, because I wasn't sure if I was like, are we supposed to know who that woman is? Maybe that's a cameo too, or if it's just she doesn't say a whole lot. She's just in that scene with
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd. I wonder if it was maybe a little intentional, the Back to the Future kind of reference, half a reference when everyone's just trying to bug Doc Brown, like when we're closed, fucking after hours. Like, come on, get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We're busy. I was thinking just when Marty first meets him in 55
Yeah.
and he's like, get the fuck out of here. We're busy. But yeah, Christopher Lloyd knew immediately what that fucker was. He was just like, oh
Yeah.
wait, let me show you. I have my
I
fossil
don't
of this specific thing.
I don't remember if Adam Scott says this on the boat or at Christopher Lloyd's place, but he also shouts out, "Is that a fucking piranha?"
Yeah.
And that's pretty good too. He does that really, like his just shock of it being a piranha. I really like that.
So Christopher Lloyd is absolutely selling this. He's pretty fun. He's just doing his Christopher Lloyd bit, and I
Yeah.
love it. I does he show up in the sequel?
I don't think so. I feel pretty confident that he doesn't. I've only seen it like two or three times.
Anything else you want to say about him in this movie? He does pop up again pretty shortly at
Yeah,
the
he does.
end, but
Yeah, he pops in at the end for a little bit, but I don't remember. Does he share like I feel like he shares some relevant information. Oh yeah, because he shares about the cannibalism and how they would have survived, like,
yeah.
independently and all of that. So he gives them some information to work with, but no information that actually is like going to be life-saving or you know, change the course of the movie, really.
Yeah, he didn't say anything that they already kind of figured. He's like, who cares if they're cannibalistic and how
Yeah, because they're still eating people now.
they're like, they're hungry now, and they're going around after
Yeah.
people. Which one
Yeah.
thing I also did kind of notice, you don't see any other fish in this movie. Where
Maybe
are all
they
the
ate
other?
all the fish.
You don't think that would have like just slowed down them attack? I mean, maybe, but you think
Oh
that would have slowed
yeah.
down them attacking people if you have all these fish to go at
Yeah.
first. Now you'd eat them pretty quickly, probably, but
Yeah, that's true.
it's a little dicey how many piranhas there actually are. If it's several hundred
Thousands.
or
No, I say
thousands.
thousands.
Hmm.
Yeah. Especially with all the eggs. Definitely a ton of them. So maybe they just eat the fish in the area of where the humans are because they're like, no, we want that big game. So they're just getting rid of all the other fish. And my issue that I take with the piranha is that they never
Uh-huh.
get full. Like you'd think that eating one or two humans, they'd be like, oh, that was great. We're gonna go swim our way back to the trench, hang out for a little bit until we're hungry again. Like they just go to town. Like this is an all you can eat buffet.
Absolutely. And though I guess the only evidence of that, and again, I'm giving this movie too much credit, is when you get to the massacre later
I
on
love the
and you
massacre.
see all the bodies, they are not completely devouring all the bodies down to bone. Not
Well, I
all
mean,
of
some
them.
of them get out of the water. The ones that they get a good hold on, like they're fucking them up.
There's
They're
full
they're corn
just
cobs. They're corn cobs.
not everybody. When there's a bunch of people out like just floating around like dead bodies in the water, like after the fact, there's a lot of people where you're
Okay,
like, you left a lot of meat on that bone. Y'all are
that's
getting
true.
wasteful.
That's true. Maybe some people don't taste as good as others.
That's true. They probably took a bite
Like,
and they're like,
yeah, they were like, oh, this one, too too much beer in this one. Go for the next one.
yeah. It's these stupid children, they're waving to, on their little island that they're on
Mhm.
trying to get help. They do flag down Jake, who sees them, and he's like, what the fuck?
What luck?
What luck, these fucking children. And then you have another pretty good kill. Well, so what I don't understand again about like this pornographic film that they're shooting is
Mhm.
that the woman who is on not like water skiing, but like is it like has the
Mm-hmm.
parachute and what do you call that? Is that water skiing still? You're not skiing on the
I don't
water.
know.
Water gliding? I don't know. You
I don't know
clearly
I don't know what that's called, but we're not doing those fucking water sports, and that's why we don't know what they're called. Because it never ends well in these movies.
now in this movie, or I'm like, did she have to be topless? But I'm like, yeah, it's this
Yes, of
movie.
course she does.
So of
Yes.
course she does. But that's a great kill though, when she
It's
comes
so
back up out of the
good.
water.
Yeah.
And the rest is all just pieces just falling off and shit,
I
just all
love it. Yeah.
stringy flesh and shit. That's awful.
Yeah,
Uh
it's really great. That's a pretty fun kill. Those guys just look fucking terrified as they should.
yeah, they should. I hope they just were like, let's just go home and let's not.
I I think the other fun thing about any of the kills that happen where the person's upper body is above the water, their reaction to being bit the first couple times is so fun. Like the surprise, pain, and fear that is all happening at once is really good. That's I think I just really love the kills and the reactions in this movie. Even like the reactions to the how they when they pull out bodies and the bodies are just all fucked up. Like
Yeah.
all of it is so fucking fun every time.
Then you have this like back and forth between Jake and Jerry O'Connell, and Jake's
Mm.
just being like the worst this whole time.
He
Like
really is the worst.
he is bringing down this vibe constantly, and like how many
Yeah.
really great locations has he even shown them? Then he has to fucking threaten that like his mom is the fucking
Yeah, he'll pull the
sheriff, and
big
you're like,
guns.
dude, get the fuck out of here, dude. Take your ball and go home,
Like
man.
with a character like Jerry O'Connell's in this movie, that was a bold move because like I would not be surprised if this dude had a fucking gun on board, like, and was just like,
Right?
no, no, this is what's gonna happen. Like he's all coked up, like he's gonna make some stupid decisions. So like I would tread lightly if I were Jake, but he goes full on like, no, my mom's the sheriff, so I'm automatically super safe. And you're like, not right now, because you chose to get on this fucking boat with this guy, this fucking creep. Come on.
And they still would have been just fine if it weren't for the fucking kids having to go
Mm-hmm.
over, get them. And I think Jerry O'Connell knows this. And
Oh,
probably in his
absolutely.
dying, he was just like, this is what I get. This is what I fucking get for showing just a little bit of heart and going after those kids for this teenager. Get the fuck out of here.
I do love the way he's like, we need to fucking hurry. And he's just like lifting the kids in the boat. He's like, come on, like, let's go. Let's speed this
Yeah.
shit up. Like, I love all of that. Everything that he does is so funny.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. His energy is pretty good. It's one of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Not quite at all the carnage yet, but you did get the Eli Roth cameo, who is
Yes.
hosting the wet t-shirt contest. Did you hear all the things that he was saying?
He says one of my favorite lines. I love the most terrible things. I'm so sorry, everyone, but weapons of masturbation is so fun. I love that. And of course, Eli Roth would say it because he's him. And
Yeah.
so this character is, I think, is perfect for him.
Yeah, weapons of masturbation is
Yeah, the way
pretty
he
good.
delivers it is really good.
Um, I don't know if you heard, he says it very on or at the very end,
Mm.
where he yells, show me your Danny DeVitos.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is horrifying and terrible. Not to knock Danny DeVito. I'd imagine if I ever said that to somebody, that would be
That would not be sexy.
no. So just imagine. But at that point, like everyone's just having a fun time. Everybody can probably just yell whatever the fuck he wants. It doesn't matter at this
Yeah.
point. But I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, he's got some good lines.
Man, I mean, I don't know. They try to get everybody out of the water. It doesn't fucking work.
No.
Ving Rhames, you know, really literally like jumps the gun a little bit here. Just starts like shooting his gun in the sky, getting everyone to
There's
come out. Bullets fall somewhere, right? You can't just shoot bullets in the sky. They land somewhere.
okay, but wait.
Yeah,
If it's time for science,
sure.
if the bullet goes up like full force, yes, eventually it is going to come back down. Like
Yeah.
that's part of science. Um, but it's not going to come back with the same force as when it was shot out of the gun.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it'll still hurt somebody, probably.
I mean, but I don't think it's going to like insert itself into anyone.
It could. Well, we're really going to make our research team work overtime on this
Yeah,
one. And
we have a lot of questions for the research team for this episode. But yeah, he definitely telling a bunch of drunk young college kids not to do something that seems like it has no serious consequences is going to lead to them doing the complete opposite of what you've asked. Like he should have known better on that one.
and to get them all out of the water, then see, I mean, I figure if I were even at that party, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll listen to you.
Yeah.
I'll get out of the water just in case. I can have plenty of fun dry.
Well,
Absolutely.
and that's the
And I
thing. It'd be
have.
different. Yeah, it'd be different if he was like, "Oh, giving them any other type of rules." If someone like says get out of the water, you're implying that there's danger in the water. So, if someone just yelled to me with no context, "Get out of the water," I'd be like, "Okay." Right the fuck out. Yeah.
I'll get out of the water and then ask you why.
Yes. Yes. Ask questions after you fucking take action. Get your ass out of there because this spring break massacre situation is fucking lovely.
Yeah, it's all really fun. Before we get to that, they get the kids, they're trying to get back out, but the water's too shallow, so it gets caught,
Mm-hmm.
and I just keep calling it lake hair, but what is that called? It's just like the
What do
when
you
it
mean
all
lake hair?
gets caught up in the boat or in the motors
Oh, it's
and
like seaweed.
seaweed, sure. Yeah, it's kind of
Uh,
like lake hair is seaweed.
no, that's
Well, it's not
that
seaweed
is
because we're in a lake, so it's
I
clearly not seaweed.
okay, but it's like seaweed. It's a fucking water plant, so lakeweed, whatever you want to call it. Definitely not
Lakeweed.
that. Don't call it that. But I don't like calling it sea hair at all. That's worse than lakeweed. That's a terrible because now I'm like picturing it that poor girl later and her hair.
That is probably one of my favorite CG deaths.
Uh-huh.
If
Uh-huh.
not my favorite was that one.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I agree.
I'm just thinking you need to be a little more careful. I mean, I guess he's pretty coked out and pretty angry at this point, Jerry
Oh,
O'Connell. But
he's not thinking straight at all. And I love it. I love how much he's just escalating in unstableness.
because literally the second they get out of the lake hair, they just immediately crash and break this, just all this glass that's at the bottom, protruding out the bottom of this boat for this window. And you're
Which should
like,
be anti-shatter, like it should be shatterproof glass. Fucking
yeah,
idiots. Like, what?
yeah. And I mean, maybe that's just because, like, I think of like, it's probably all scratched to fuck at this point. Probably couldn't even see it. Probably couldn't get good shots through it.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't know. So then the boat starts sinking.
yeah.
And
Which is not a great situation for them at all.
and that's not a good situation. So as that's
Mm-mm.
sinking, we're popped over to back over to it's just too late. Everyone's and
Oh,
maybe it was that woman that could who's the contortionist that got that was in the little her little tube that got bit in the
I think
butt,
it is.
got
I
pulled
think
down.
she's credited as intertube girl.
Oh, then perfect. Yeah,
So
then
I
that's her.
think that's her because it looks real. Like it doesn't look, I don't know. It looks like she's fucking just bent and sandwiched into that fucking inner tube. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really fun gore, a lot of really fun deaths. Every time they pull somebody out of the water, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Let me see that fucking bodily damage. I need to
Just
see it all.
all just stringy, fleshy bits. It's so
Mm-hmm.
it's rough. And then a few people get like, well, of course, because everything's like crashing around and everyone's flipping out. A couple
Mm-hmm.
people just get who's the woman that just gets like sliced like right in half?
Oh, love that too. That's super fun. Yeah, because the stage comes down too and the wire just slices her in half. Oh, there's two of them that
I
it
love
happens
it.
to. Oh, it's so great. Yeah, that's super fun. And just the means of which they're trying to fight these piranha is fucking stupid. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna shoot them, you're gonna shoot the fish.
Yeah. While there's people in the water.
If there were three fish, maybe, but you've got like fucking presumably thousands of fish. We're not gonna make, waves. Oh, there we go. With shooting these guys.
So
But then they also, I love Adam Scott on the fucking wave
what is it?
runner with the shotgun, just cocking it with one arm and driving with the other arm and just shooting the fish with the shotgun as well.
Just
Like
shotgunning fish in the face.
you're going to shoot people absolutely 100%.
And I like Ving Rhames's idea of using the propeller and
Yeah,
like
but from a
going at them
boat.
from a boat from above. Like stop, don't stand in there with them.
What are you doing in the water?
Yeah. So
Yeah. And then Elizabeth Shue tases a fish. Just
yeah,
one.
just one little fish.
And I just, all of it, I love. Like, it's dumb, but like Adam Scott on that Sea-Doo, I've called it 100 different things. I don't know what
Yeah,
their official names are.
it's a jet
Him with
ski.
jet ski. Yes. All day yesterday when I watched this movie, I kept thinking to myself, what the fuck are those vehicles called? I've never been on one. I will never go on one. So that's why I don't know what they're called. I've tried to erase them from my memory. But
Oh,
he looks so fucking hot just with his shotgun on the jet ski. It's great.
yeah. So things are going really bad over there. And, and
Really
they're not
bad.
and honestly, they're not going that much better back over at the
Mhm.
porno boat because well, so again, you've got Paul Scheer who falls off the boat, but
Mm.
you never see him again. You don't know what happens to him.
Oh yeah. I guess
And
you're
I don't
right.
know if he explains that in the sequel, like what the fuck happened, but who knows? Because
For how
he
many
falls
times I've
off.
seen it, you'd think I'd know,
Yeah,
but I don't.
yeah. So you're just there for the boobs and the mutilated flesh,
Exactly. Exactly.
So you're not there for details, good for everything.
Target demographic.
Yeah. Um, I love how Jerry O'Connell is like using this woman as a shield, essentially. Like he's almost like moving her in front of the
Hmm.
piranhas as she's getting eaten the
I
fuck
love
up.
that.
She gets a situation where I don't know how that piranha got in there, but comes out through her throat and out her mouth.
That's really fun
That's
too.
that's pretty fun. And you see her
Yeah.
cheeks like rip open a little bit.
Um,
That's really fun.
the other thing that I forgot to mention, going back to the
Sure.
lovely massacre, is the sign that's over that stage that collapses that says dying to get wet. I love that. Love it.
Mhm.
Such
Fun.
great attention to detail.
Yeah, this movie does that. Uh,
Obviously, I have a clear bias for this movie just being it's one of my favorite movies.
I love forget when it happens, but well, so you're right. You get my favorite CG death. So when Todd is trying to get out of there,
Fucking Todd. I wrote down his name too.
fucking Todd Dupree, who doesn't
We
have
hate
backstage
Todd.
passes, even if he is a pretty good DJ, he's like, I need to get he's doing his best, like, Billy Zane, I'm only here for myself. Let's get the fuck out of here
Yeah,
situation.
absolutely.
He's mowing over people. Like, so I think he's killing plenty of people getting out of there.
He's just having a traumatic experience live and in real time and is not making great decisions, but he kills probably just as many people as the piranhas did.
Maybe. But that's where oh, and then when it's always about the propellers getting stuck on something, whether it's
The
lake
hair,
hair or
though,
people hair. And how it not only rips her hair off,
that
but it rips the skin of her face off
I
too. It's
fucking love it.
so good.
And but like, okay, before it rips her face off, just
Yeah.
the propeller being stuck in her hair, that is probably the scariest thing that happens in this movie. Like, because it feels very real, whereas like a lot of the other stuff feels very far-fetched, or like you might not find yourself in that situation. I don't know how many people have ever had their hair caught in a propeller.
Have you?
No, my hair's not
Uh,
even long enough for that shit. We could be
yeah.
short, but like
For that reason.
for that reason,
Yeah.
just you never know when you might come across a propeller. So
Yeah.
she, yeah, she's pretty fucked. That's a terrible situation. I feel so bad
Oh,
for her. R.I.P. to that girl.
all right.
Literally, because she
That
ripped.
girl. Yeah, literally. Oh, speaking of rip, I love how there's like one scene with the two people like carrying this woman, like one's got her from the shoulders, one's got her from the legs, and then
Oh,
she just rips in half. How did they not notice that? But like she's barely held together.
oh my God, it's so good. Yeah,
Uh
that's really good. Yeah, there's so many gems in this whole scene. Like, that's why I'm like, even if you can't get past the fact that the movie is very silly, if you like gore and good kills, this movie delivers. It absolutely delivers times 10.
maybe not. I don't know if I agree quite with that enthusiasm.
You should.
I guess I should.
I have
But
so much
it,
enthusiasm.
it sounds like it's a me problem.
Yeah.
How many people live in this town? Because that must be at least two-thirds of the town dead just
Just
from that.
dead.
Because it's not a big town, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
there's oh, that's rough. Can you imagine just being there kind of down the street or like me? See, and this is why, I show up fashionably late all the time. I'd imagine me, I'm just trying to find parking, being like, God damn, blah, blah, blah.
Circling
And
around.
then just walking up and then, probably pick myself up like an orange crush or something from the corner market. I'm just having a good time. And I walk over and I just see all this happening. I just feel like, you know what? I'm just gonna
I'm
turn
gonna
right
turn back
around
around.
and go home, go pick up a burrito on the way, and just have myself a very unfishy day. So yeah, gosh, everything back at the porn boat where uh they do get Jerry O'Connell out, but only half of them.
Oh
Because
man. Oh, I love that his legs are chewed up, but all he could like he's like my penis. Fucking
my
fuck.
dick, my dick's gone.
Yeah. Who cares about my legs?
And just with the little twitchy legs, just
I
moving
know.
up.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
good. Oh,
it's so
so,
good.
so good.
So
Yeah.
good. I love
He's so
it.
great when he's just, they took my penis. They took my penis.
You do get to see his a CG dick. Um and
Gets a dick.
you can tell they're full at that point because the fish does take some bites, swallow the dick whole, and then spits out the dick, but really only it's still, only some chunks taken out of it.
Yeah. Just a little
But
bite. Just a little
yeah.
nibble. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the
As
two what do you call the two like little silicone things
Oh yeah, I love that too.
from her breasts float
They
in the
didn't
air, and
want
then you see
that.
the dick.
Yeah. As someone who doesn't have a dick, I think that it's quite funny. It's as someone who has one, does it like make you cringe or it just doesn't look real enough for you to even like process it that way?
It's weird how the dick was so clean as it was like floating around, where like literally like the rest of it is just mangled. I would have thought they would have, it looks like they like came at his and they were like, look, okay, let's chew through the clothes. Let's get all that out of the way. Okay, we got everything good. We can see the full picture down here. And they were like, hey, everybody, hold on. We got to keep this dick extra. So it felt like they came
Intact.
in, probably just ate around the base and ate in that way so the dick would float off. And then they're like, okay, now we're good. Everyone, we just go to town on the rest of it. We just need to preserve that dick. And then it's just wild to see it float around. Now, the one thing I do appreciate about this movie is that, yes, you do have you know, a lot of topless women, a lot of naked women,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of women dying naked,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, like it's like, look, my whole thing is like, it's fine. It's just when it's all one-sided, like, come on. Like, now, while I do appreciate this movie where you do get some dick chops in that
Mm-hmm.
case,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I needed to see this. I at this over at the party. I needed to see, with all the body parts, you see the legs floating around. I need
Mm-hmm.
to see like a lake shore of just dicks floating
Just
around
more
and just been,
dicks.
just that have just all been bitten off and just floating around just to kind of even the playing field. You know what I mean?
I've found that with a few movies that we've watched that have had nudity, our request has been more dicks. And I don't know who we need to write a letter to get this shit to happen, but like there doesn't even need to be tits in the movie. Like we could just go straight to dicks. That's fine too. Just more dicks in movie overall. Just more, give me more.
And I feel like it's always me that brings it up first. Like, we need more dicks here.
It is you. Well, because you're looking for equality,
Yeah.
whereas I'm just looking for general nudity. But you're like, we just need to even it up. I'm like, no, whatever you want to put in there is fine. But yeah, like, always anytime I see a dick in a movie, I'm very excited by that. Not like pleasantly surprised, we'll say.
Yeah. And me, when I saw that dick floating around, I just nodded and I said, good, good. Yeah.
Good. Check that box.
Doing the work. Doing the good work. So he's fucked. Elizabeth Shue and Adam Scott, they make their way over to the boat. Um, Kelly is still underneath, right?
He's fucked
She's
down there.
she's
That
just
would be terrifying.
she's just playing whack-a-mole with fish, just jumping at her with that her fucking fry pan.
She actually does a really good job. Like, I
She
wonder if she
does.
plays tennis.
Yeah, no kidding. Um, so they're trying to get all these, this is like kind of our climax a little bit,
Mhm.
where they want to save everybody that's on this boat. They have this plan. Have you ever tried like going on a rope like that as as they're doing, like with your legs and your arms, and you have to kind of, it reminds me of Cliffhanger or Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, which has the cliffhanger
Yeah, yeah.
parody in the beginning of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um,
Also, I'm fucking Deep Blue Sea.
yeah. And does it work for
Yeah.
anybody?
Okay, so I think a couple of things here. The difference between so Deep Blue Sea, they're on a piece of metal, which is more structured.
Yeah,
I
it's like a
think
ladder or something.
that would be significantly easier than a rope because the rope is going to force you to hold more of your weight and be more tense. Like
Yeah.
it's not holding you really. Like it is, but do I think I could do that? Is that what the question is? You didn't ask that question, but I feel like that's where it was headed.
Yeah.
Um, no, I don't think I could do that. Especially even under stress. Like I'm in pretty good shape. Like I work out, I lift weights, all that shit. I don't think I could do that under that stress, especially. I would fucking fall in that water and be eaten by piranhas. I'd be like, we need to find another way.
It'd be easier if it was I guess probably they're trying to do it, to hurry up the process, I suppose. But
Yeah.
if
Everything's
it's
trying to be
one
quick.
person at a time, that's fine. But when you have those two fucking kids behind
Mm,
Kelly Brook as she's doing it, that makes all the weight of those extra kids makes them all sink down.
yeah.
And then so she gets fucked pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
She could have made it because she even said, she's like, I don't pole dance for nothing. And I'm like, yeah, I believe that she could absolutely crawl across that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Elizabeth Shue really fucked her up in
Yeah.
those kids
Also,
after.
Elizabeth Shue is fucking ripped in this movie.
Yeah,
When
she is.
she takes off her jacket, she's got just she's always like had like really like buff arms, which I love. But like in this movie, she looks like she's gonna just kick some ass. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Just as a sidebar, it's important everyone knows that she has great arms.
And she also has this fucking dipshit of a teenage son because he's like, he's all trying to play hero and shit. She's
Oh
like,
God.
you're still a child. Absolutely not. And then they make their way across. I would have been like, nope, nope, you go in.
Yeah, you go first.
Get on that rope. I will go
Mhm.
and handle this child, or Kelly or whatever
Also,
down there.
in real life, I feel like any mom in that situation would have done that. Like I would have left my ass on that boat until my son got to safety. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because of course she gets over and then he wants to be a fucking dipshit asshole and
Yep.
then
And that's
starts
why.
undoing the rope and you're like,
And she
um,
knows that that's a girl that he likes. Come on. Like,
yeah.
come on. Of course he's going to try to play hero. And his plan is really fucking risky, high action star like planning. I'm like, Jake, do you really think you could pull this off when you can't even fucking like jerk off in private properly? Like,
Yeah.
come on. What?
Nothing we've seen so far screams competence to me with
No,
him.
no.
So I'm not expecting any of it now, nor should Kelly,
It would have been
you
great if
know.
they just blew up.
Yeah,
That would have
that would have
been
been.
a fun surprise.
So he does his whole fucking thing. Now, we get the end of Jerry O'Connell, who like they already thought he was dead because they put something
Yeah.
over him.
Yes, they thought he was dead.
And he's like, no, my last and I really want to believe, like I said
This is wet
earlier, that
t-shirt.
he means it like, no, I have a plan for you, and this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna sacrifice what's left of me for you.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's murder. If he knows what's gonna happen, he picks
No,
up the body of
he's
someone who's still alive and throws him over. Are you sure he officially died?
yes, he is so fucking dead. Like that's the whole humor of it is that he dies saying wet t-shirt because he's a fucking idiot and a terrible person. So those would be his last dying words. He coughs up blood and then he like exhales very dramatically. Like it feels very I'm officially dead. And honestly, even if he wasn't, I would not call that murder. Even if he threw him in the water, if he was just barely alive, I'd be like, just so y'all know he's dead, and then just threw him.
Piranhas want blood. Let's give it to them. And I'm like, no, shut the fuck up, you dumbass fucking teenager. Shut the fuck up. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
trying to
It's
sound cool
awful.
and shit. He's like, he's in it for Kelly. Like he's like, this is gonna get me laid 100%. If I survive, I'm getting laid. That's his motivation.
Man, I just don't you think it'd take a minute at least to recover from all that trauma and be like, I don't want anything all up in me. I'm good. I don't know. I feel like I just need to pause. But maybe he's thinking long game. I
Yeah,
just know
he's yeah.
teenagers don't do that. So knowing how quickly the piranhas eat people, I'm like, it really didn't buy him as much time as it really,
It
I don't
bought them
know.
way more time than it should have because Homeboy
Yeah.
was already half eaten.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have the whole fucking bottom half. They're like they have fresh options.
And they already
Would
had
you
the
go
good
for your
parts.
yeah, like would you go for your leftovers if there was fucking fresh takeout right around the corner? Like
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Or it's like, it's like eating your dinner after your dessert. It's like you already had the dick. Like, what do you well, we're gonna be chopping on elbow over here? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, fine, but if we wanted fucking someone's, some dude's fucking top half, we just go cruise back over here. We don't, we need you.
Yeah.
Or we don't need you, bro. So they throw Jerry O'Connell over. He dives under, has some dynamite. That's very convenient. Um,
Yeah, why was that there? Is that a common thing that you would keep dynamite on a boat, especially like a rental?
I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it came with the rental.
He just had it?
Yeah,
What was he going to use it for? Like, no, it had to have been on the boat, but that also doesn't make sense. So,
none of it
you
does.
know,
And like Adam
we're just
Scott said,
expecting
dynamite fishing is not super
illegal.
legal in all the
Yeah.
places. But hey, no, they fucking, hey, shit, they did it. They are able to pull them out in enough time. They blow up, and they seem pretty confident that they've killed a lot of them or all of them. But I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
or not all of them, but a big chunk, which I'm like, how do you count that? How do you even know?
well, also, like, not to get too much into logistics, but
Yeah.
that if we couldn't get the boat like safely out of these rocks, how did they not just get fucking beat to death by rocks when they were pulling them out of that like water, like full speed from under
Right.
the boat? Like it, that whole, the whole part with the rescue from the boat like drags for me.
Hmm.
But like if it weren't for that little bit with Jerry O'Connell, it would be a bit much. And yeah, like where is Paul Shear? Where is he?
Just vanished.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a death scene filmed, or well, one, they probably maybe they didn't have the CGI ready yet for it, and they're just like, hey, you know what? Guess what, bro? I guess you earned yourself a spot in the sequel.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know.
Could be.
But I mean, they get him onto the boat, and that
They
that
sure
works
do.
out.
Yeah.
Get the kids out, everyone's good.
Yeah.
It feels like it kind of not like whimpers to an end, but it's just like, oh, I guess
Hmm.
they're feeling like, okay, we did it. It looks like we made some progress. Let's go. Turns out if we just throw dynamite and just blow shit up in the water, it'll probably kill whatever's in there. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Even though
But
I'm
I mean, it's
thinking,
also going to ruin like the whole ecosystem of the lake.
and if a single beer, like granted, there's a lot of stuff, at the bottom of that lake, but if the single beer is what causes this fucking
Oh,
thing to open,
yeah.
pretty sure blowing shit up underwater is like not gonna help that situation.
Damn. I didn't even think about that. What else is in that, like underneath there? Couldn't just be the piranhas.
Turns out adult piranhas, because fucking Christopher Lloyd is just like, you know, Marty, Adam, something's gotta be done about your kids. They're all piranha kids, all of them. And it's a bummer because I liked Adam Scott. So like seeing him die at the end, you're like, whatever. But
But
yeah,
just
he's just
his
like,
like,
you
where's
know,
the, what does he say? Where's the mother? Like, where are the parents?
and then boom, jumps up, gets
Yeah,
him.
I think that's super fun. And the size of that piranha is absolutely ridiculous. And you don't see piranhas that size
No.
in the next one. So they kind of go
Um,
back on that a little bit, not to spoil it for anybody.
Bunch of latchkey piranha kids
Yeah. It's
just
abandoned by their giant mom.
staying up later than they should.
Yeah. I like that ending. I think it's fun. Like obviously some shit was gonna go down because when a movie ends and it's just like slow them on the boat all safe, like somebody's gonna get got.
Yeah. It's not that like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Gosh. Um, that brings us to the end of this movie.
Yeah. I'm so
Um,
glad I'm so glad that you went beat for beat with the plot for this one because otherwise it just feels like it's all over the place because it's just such chaos.
yeah, well, and
Yeah.
really it
So
is just bouncing back and forth between the party, the boat,
mhm.
and really just back and forth throughout the movie. But anything else, any notes, anything that we skipped over that you want to share?
I think I just really love the cast of this movie.
Me too.
And for how like fucking dumb it is, the acting is pretty good. Like
I
they're
think everybody sells it straight,
they sell it, yeah, they sell it really well. And I think everybody was having like a great time. So I think the only thing missing is Dina Meyer needed more. So she deserves an industry legend title for sure. Like
100%.
Starship Troopers, get
Hmm.
out of here. Also, I think maybe Elizabeth Shue should also get an industry legend title as
Hell
well.
yeah.
And then, of course, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
So
know much.
I don't think he has, is this the only horror movie he's been in?
I'm gonna count Clue for these
Oh,
purposes.
okay. There you go. If you've got two or one really solid one, you get, that's my rule. I just invented it. So,
It's your podcast. You can do whatever
yeah.
you want. I
Yeah,
love that.
50% of it. So,
That wraps up this movie.
mhm.
I would love to hear some taglines.
We have 6 taglines for this.
Okay.
Okay. Of course, we have to talk about it being 3D. So this summer, 3D shows its teeth.
Okay. That's
Fine.
fine.
Sea, sex, blood.
Like CSEA.
Yes, like SEA, not sea, sex, and blood. That would have been fun. So it's just sea, sex, and blood.
Oh, well, thumbs down because we're not in an ocean. This is a freshwater
Also, there's
situation.
no sex in this movie.
There is no sex.
Yeah, so lies.
Yeah.
Don't scream, just swim.
That's fine.
I mean, that's fine. You really, they're not wrong though. I would assume if you're screaming while swimming, you're probably not breathing properly and therefore moving slower.
Save your energy for the swimming.
Save
Absolutely.
your energy.
So, okay, that's back up to a thumbs up. That's fine. It's helpful information.
There's something in the water.
Okay.
Fine.
That's true.
2 million years of evolution, one perfect killer.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
It makes it sound like it's one fish,
yeah.
not like a school of fish.
Yeah.
Several schools.
Several
Fish.
schools of fish, a whole school district of fish.
Yeah. This one might sound familiar.
Uh-huh.
This summer, how fast can you swim?
Oh, what? See, is so any aquatic horror
Yeah,
situation.
they're probably going to say how fast can you swim. So they just added this summer.
Mhm.
Yeah, because Deep Blue Sea was just how fast can you swim, which I like better.
And when was Deep Blue Sea released? What time of the year?
I don't know. But it definitely came out 11 years before this one.
It also came out in the summer. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
That's it. That's our taglines. Which one's your favorite?
ooh, dang. I'll be honest with you. I've forgotten all of them. So so I don't
You
want
know
to just
what?
say the most recent one, but one in ear, out the other.
This is not usually my like go-to, but I actually kind of like this summer 3D shows its teeth. I kind of think that's fun.
I like it because they do have little baby teeth
Fish
that
teeth are
fucking bite
fucking
off.
disturbing. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen the fish that have like human looking teeth?
I don't like that one bit. No.
You've never given that a Google?
Not gonna.
If anyone listening has not seen these fish that look like they have human teeth and you would just want to be horrified, Google it. It's I don't know who showed this to me. I don't remember who put me through this. Maybe someone else suggested it to me and I was like, I can't resist.
I
I
don't
have to
know.
see it.
So it's not like a giant fish that like made its way into some dentures that fell into the water. So it's looking just kind of fun in a silly situation.
No,
Mm,
it is their teeth and it's gross and disturbing. So
it's terrible.
yeah, it's terrible.
Here we are. We're at our boo scores. So you want to go first, or would you like me to?
Oh my gosh. I think I should go first just because I think it's pretty obvious that I absolutely love this movie. So I'll go first.
All yours.
I'm, oh man, I I really struggled with this because I have a running list of all of like my favorite horror movies, and this is on it. This movie is on it. I fucking love it. I have such a good time when I'm watching it. I think it's so silly. I love just everything about it. I'm gonna
Hmm.
give it 4 boos.
Four boos, and honestly, that's a little lower than I thought you would.
Really? Did you think I was gonna do 5? Because I just been
Yeah,
unhinged lately. I'm just handing out 5 boos.
I had a feeling.
I'm
No,
giving
hey,
it 4 because it's is this Scream? No.
yeah,
Scream is 5 boos. So I'm like, this is 4 boos. It's my highest level of like camp, silliness, stupidity that like it can get. Like it's perfect. How about you?
not quite as high, but
I know.
but not as low as I was maybe prepared to give it based on what I remembered from the movie. I've
Okay.
watched it twice in the last couple days. I think the cast is good. The CG is just dog shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just really rough to watch. Man,
That
if this
also
movie,
loses a little bit of
if
points for
this
me.
movie, yeah, I don't know, maybe came out now, or it was even when even bad CG now looks like good CG from 2010, you know what I mean? Um, could have done a lot.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love a movie that clocks in under an hour and a half, including credits. That's
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this movie 2.5 boos.
2.5? You
Yeah.
fucker.
Two and a half
That is
boos.
so low.
It's pretty good. It's fine. It's a fun movie. I'll watch it.
Uh,
Am I going out of my way? Uh, will I actively watch this movie? Like, want to watch this movie again? No. Maybe with you if you fucking make me do it, like, for a podcast. But um,
yeah, this is definitely my choice of movie for sure.
yeah, I think 2.5's good. I was prepared to come in like 1.5. And
That is ludicrous.
so
No.
I'm gonna say 2.5. I was thinking of maybe 3, but no, let me stick with 2.5. It's a good movie. I like it. It's
Okay.
just I need more practical effects. I need more Dina
Mm,
Meyer, and
yeah.
I need more Willies just floating around up and bobbing up in the water. Just a sea of it. Just a
Willies.
sea of it. Just a dick graveyard, a watery dick graveyard. So, yeah, 2.5. I think that's generous.
I don't, but I I would bet that more people would agree with your boo score on this one than mine for sure. I definitely is very generous, but Jerry O'Connell alone is a boo, a full boo for this
Mm,
movie. He's fucking killing it.
industry legend.
Industry legend. He's so great.
Anything else you got? I don't want to say before we wrap up?
No, I said all the things I need to say. I
Yeah, you
think
did.
I think I think if you like aquatic horror and you like gore and just a stupid fun time, this movie is great. And I'd also recommend watching it with like a group if you're gonna watch it. Like it's more fun to like see other people reacting to it as well. So yeah, definitely watch with a group.
Oh yeah. Okay, that does it, everybody. Take care. 3, 2, 1, ghost.
Thanks for listening to our episode on Piranha 3D. If you enjoyed this episode and managed to make it out of the water alive, hit subscribe and leave us a killer review on whichever platform you choose to listen. You can find us on Instagram at 321GhostPod and give us a follow to see what we're up to. And don't be shy, we love to hear your opinions on the movies we cover too. You can also shoot us an email to 321ghostpod@gmail.com to share any comments, ask questions, or suggest a movie you'd like to hear us chat about. Next week, at least one of us might be singing, because we're talking about 1975's The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Thanks again for listening, and remember the shopping list: body paint, condoms, and Ready Whip. 3, 2, 1, ghost.